Back in 1914, the world was obsessed with exploring the unknown. The North and South Poles were already discovered, but one massive challenge was left: walking all the way across the freezing continent of Antarctica. Enter Ernest Shackleton. He was a fearless leader with a crazy dream. He put an ad in the paper looking for brave men. He promised bitter cold, total darkness, and extreme danger. Amazingly, thousands of people applied. Shackleton picked 27 tough guys and built a super strong wooden ship named Endurance. They didn't go alone either. They brought along 69 energetic husky sled dogs, plus a ship's cat named Mrs. Chippy. For a while, the trip was amazing. The crew played with the dogs on the wooden deck. They sailed past giant white icebergs under beautiful purple skies. It felt like a great adventure. But the ocean around Antarctica is tricky. Before they even reached the land, winter came early. The water around the ship got thicker and thicker. Soon it turned into rock-hard ice. The mighty Endurance was stuck. It was completely frozen in place, locked inside an endless white desert. Then things got worse. For 10 long months, the sun completely vanished. They had to live in total freezing darkness. To keep everyone from going crazy, Shackleton kept the crew busy. They played clumsy games of ice soccer, had dog races under the stars, and sang loud songs. They actually found ways to laugh in the absolute worst conditions. But under the ice, the dark ocean was angry. Millions of tons of ice started moving and pushing against the ship. The noise was terrifying. The wood began to groan, squeak, and snap like matchsticks. Finally, the pressure was just too much. The heavy ice crushed the Endurance. Shackleton had to give the hardest order a captain can give: abandon ship. His 28 men were now stranded on a floating piece of ice, thousands of miles from anywhere, watching their beautiful ship slowly sink. The real fight to stay alive had just started. With their ship crashed and gone, Shackleton and his men had to set up camp right on the drifting ice. They were totally at the mercy of the freezing weather. For months, they floated around nowhere, surviving by eating penguin meat and melting snow to drink. But when spring finally arrived, a terrifying new danger popped up. The giant ice block under their feet started to melt and crack in half. They had to move right then. They jumped into the 3 tiny wooden rowboats and faced the freezing, violent ocean. For 7 terrifying days, they battled massive waves, heavy winds, and deadly cold. Finally, they hit land. It was Elephant Island, a harsh, rocky, and totally empty place. But when the freezing sailors fell on the solid ground, they cheered and cried. It was the very first time on dry land in nearly 500 days. But they weren't safe yet. Rescue ships never ever went near Elephant Island. If they just sat there, they would slowly starve to death. Shackleton knew he needed to pull off a miracle. He picked his 5 strongest men and took their biggest rowboat, the James Caird. Their crazy mission? Sail 800 miles across the deadliest, stormiest ocean on Earth to find help at a whaling station on South Georgia Island. It was a total nightmare. The tiny boat was tossed around by monstrous, towering waves for 16 miserable days. They were always wet and freezing, but against all odds, they made it to the island. But of course, a massive storm forced them to land on the wrong side. The whaling station was miles away across the island. So Shackleton and two men did the impossible one last time. Without any climbing gear, they hiked for 36 hours straight over dangerous, icy mountains and glaciers. When they finally stumbled into the whaling station, they looked like actual ghosts. But they did it. Shackleton quickly got a rescue ship. It took months to break through the ice back to Elephant Island, but when he finally arrived, every single man was alive and waiting on the beach. After 2 years of frozen hell, not one person died. It's truly one of the greatest survival stories ever told.